Hi, I'm Emilie Maybank. I wrote Lots of Minnows, I Digitally Do, and citizenswap.com. All three of them were actually written during a month of challenges called 28 Plays Later. It's a challenge that's run every February by a company called The Literal Challenge. And the whole thing is that you have to, for the month of February, write a new complete play every single day. So you have every night at 10 p.m., you have a challenge that is sent to you, like a prompt that should inspire you for the day. And then every morning at 10 a.m., you have to submit your complete play. Not like you have 36 hours to do each one, so it's rolling. So each of these were actually written for that. So the different prompts are just completely random. For Lots of Minnows, the idea was to write something about a demographic that you are not a part of. So I've been married for almost 5 years now, so I sort of drew from my own life, and the idea of looking at a dating site while being an old married woman and just sort of looking at all this and going, dick pics and messengers and like online dating, I don't know how any of this works, and just sort of imagining that looking from the outside, which was just a fun thing to write about. And then I Digitally Do was written based on the prompt was just the idea of digital clothing. So it was very bizarre, and I'd never heard of digital clothing before. So when I first started doing research for it, I was going, why would anyone do this? This is so weird. But then it would be too easy to just sort of write something that's knocking the idea. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go for a positive way of why would someone use this? And why would someone use this that, is not just, I don't want to like say vain or anything, but like it's a lot of like Instagram influencers who use it, who just like, I don't know, it's strange. It's a world, again, I'm not a part of, but the idea of a couple who wanted to have a digital wedding and just sort of not actually spend all the money on all the wedding industry things, but still, have the nice pictures to show the family, is what that was about. And then citizenswap.com was based on the prompt of fake news or fake history. So I decided that fake government procedure would fit right in. And me being an immigrant, I'm American, but I lived in the UK for 6 years now. Yeah, it'll be 6 years next month. Yeah, and just the visa process is really very annoying, even though I'm married to an English guy, so you think that would just be very straightforward. And it is fairly straightforward. It just takes a lot of time and effort and legal documents and money and just a lot. So I thought, what if there was a world where you could just have a one-for-one swap and have one person who wants this citizenship, one person who wants this citizenship, and go. And then, of course, it was just building these characters who I wanted them to each have this emotional core of why they wanted to swap. It wasn't just sort of, if it's a lark, I just want to go to a different country. So it was just building that relationship from there. In one form or another, I think I have been writing theater basically my entire life. As a kid, I used to always make shows and stories with my best friend who lived next door, and we would always make our parents come over and watch this thing that we had been rehearsing all afternoon, and we would come up with a story, and we would sometimes write it down, or sometimes we would just be like, through improvisation and all that, and we would sit our parents down, and they'd have to, get a little ticket that we made that we would give out to them. So it started as that. And then as I got older, it became more formal, actually writing scripts and getting actors and doing things like that. In uni, I did a double major of English, and I specialized in writing, and theater, where I specialized in acting and directing. And so obviously, again, just sort of the natural confluence of those things is to be a playwright, which I just really enjoy doing. So yeah, and I think as an actor, they usually say that the best way to get work is to make your own work. So again, being a writer just feeds very naturally into that for me. So doing the writing and the acting simultaneously has always just been my thing, I think. Intense. Not as intense as other people. Like, I feel like I'm very lucky in the terms of I was put on furlough, but I talked to my employer and he said he was happy for me to get another job. So I actually ended up getting a job at Sainsbury's, just to sort of bring in some extra money and have something to do to get out of the house. So it's not just me and my husband knocking around the studio and bumping into each other. So I sort of do that. I go to work 4 days a week, come home, and then what's I found really amazing is that because the job isn't like, it's demanding, but it's not like emotionally demanding, and it's the kind of thing where you can leave it at the door. Like you go in, you do your work, you come home, it's done. So I found that when I'm home, I have so much more space and emotional energy and just time to do things like create and make plays and act with people over Zoom and play D&D and all these just like super creative things that I normally make time for, but I feel like I've found so much more time. And just building these relationships with people. I've talked to people that I haven't really talked to a lot before. And again, it's all digital, so it seems very different. But the fact that we're all going through this big shared experience really sort of makes you bond with people in a really nice way. It was really cool. Like I said before, I usually do very simultaneously writing and acting. So pretty much everything I've written that's ended up being performed, I've been the one performing it. Like I've also done like a few things where, it's just a read through, like you hand it to random people and they'll read your scripts and stand up in a room kind of thing. But anything that's actually been like produced and staged and fully realized, it's been me who's been doing it. So it's been really cool to see myself taken out of it. Like I'll still be in the rehearsal Zoom, but to have another director especially has been the big thing for me. Uh, the director is handling the script and there's actors who are not me who are doing the script, and just sort of seeing that relationship that I'm sort of removed from is really cool to see how people are connecting with the ideas and really understanding what I did with the work, and just putting their own life and their own spin on it has been very fulfilling and something I definitely want to do more of. I am on both Twitter and Instagram at Emilie Maybank. Emilie is spelled Emilie. Uh, since it's a unique spelling, that means I get my own name as my handles, so that's good. Usually there I post a lot about my writing, what I'm doing, acting. Lately there's been a lot of stuff about RPGs because I've gotten very into that, and a lot of politics as well, because obviously it's something I'm very passionate about, is making sure people are treating each other well. So that's how you can get in touch with me.